Good evening, you're now with me, Andy, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. New Sarawak State Archive to store historical documents from UK, including pre-Malaysia and colonial-era records, for preservation and research use. And Malaysia to decide on nuclear energy after 2030, with safety, public acceptance and frameworks still under review. And in world news, 4 killed after medical plane crashes and burns near Chinle Airport in Arizona while en route to pick up a patient. The new Sarawak State Archive building, now under construction, is set to become a vital facility for safeguarding historical records, including documents recovered from the United Kingdom. Sarawak Premier Datuk Tinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said this includes certified copies of original documents detailing Sarawak's history, both before and after the formation of Malaysia, that are currently held overseas, especially in London.
Kena waktu saya menghantar rombongan ke United Kingdom di Historical Museum di London, kita banyak melihat banyak dokumen-dokumen yang kita tidak ada. Jadi kita ada bekerjasama dengan pihak London Museum untuk kita mendapatkan hard copy tersebut dibawa ke Sarawak dan disimpan di Sarawak. Ini adalah bukan saja MA 63 tetapi juga banyak surat menyurat sebelum Malaysia, koloni dan juga ketika pemerintahan Sultan Brunei.
After visiting the project site earlier today, Abang Johari stressed that the documents will be stored in a controlled environment to ensure their long-term preservation.
Saya pergi siap, tapi ya macam original. That's why humidity, temperature untuk dikawal. Dan bangunan ini akan mengawalkan humidity supaya dokumen ini tidak terjejas. Yeah. Dan I think we are one of the archive yang canggih.
The Sarawak State Archive building, now rising on a 7.12-hectare site near Pustaka Negeri in Petrajaya, is on track for completion in 2026. The facility will feature a high-tech automated storage and retrieval system, or ASRS, designed to safely and systematically preserve vast collections of documents. Spanning over 26,000 square meters across 2.5 floors, the building will also house a training center, research rooms, labs, lecture halls and an auditorium, all dedicated to supporting historical research and education.
The gross domestic product (GDP) should not be the sole measure of a country's progress. Instead, it should also be measured by how fair wealth is being distributed among the people. With Sarawak recording high income performance in the past years, Premier Datuk Tinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg pointed out that it should reflect in the lives of Sarawakians as well.
Simplis was very clear on the question of GDP growth and also the impact on society. GDP growth can reflect a country that is developing, achieving higher economic return. But it doesn't really reflect what is on the ground. Saya memang suka membaca buku Stiglitz. Kerana GDP does not necessarily give you the right picture, where the country as a whole is prosperous but not the people. Because as you know, GP, the way they calculate GP, the total goods and services, divided by the population. But then there are certain sectors of society.
Abang Johari highlighted the role of accountants and fiscal managers in ensuring state budgets are based on clear sources and divided into consumption, investment and savings. He picked on countries like Norway, which became among the wealthiest in the world despite a late takeoff on oil and gas compared to Malaysia.
When you talk about Norway, for instance, the discovery of oil and gas in Norway, the Northern Sea, was kita di Malaysia 1910. Over that side, Norway was later than 1910. But today, they are a rich country, and the standard of living of Norwegians are high in Europe. Kita minyak 1910. We are still struggling.
Another key item Abang Johari highlighted in his keynote address at the Public Sector Financial Transformation Conference PSFTC 2025 was sustainable public finance. Themed Strengthening Public Finance for a Sustainable Future, the conference brought together policymakers, finance professionals from both public and private sectors, and industry experts to strengthen the framework for public sector finance.
Touching on sustainable public finance, Abang Johari emphasized his crucial role in Sarawak's sustainable development agenda. It can be achieved by undertaking a financial transformation, focusing on aspects of resilience, sustainability, transparency, and innovation. He stressed that efficient financial management alone is insufficient to face current challenges.
Effective public finance is key to mobilizing resources, improving governance, and aligning our policies with the demands of ESG, digitalization, and of course, expectation of the people, our stakeholders.
This also includes the state's ability to maintain a healthy cash reserve, continuous investment in long-term infrastructure and social capital, as well as implementing revenue re-engineering strategies.
Continue to maintain a healthy cash reserve, invest in long-term infrastructure and social capital, and pursue revenue re-engineering through mechanisms like the state sales tax, carbon trading framework, and public-private partnership PPP.
Another key step in Sarawak's financial reform is the shift to an accrual accounting system under the Malaysian Public Sector Accounting Standards, or MPSAS, which, according to Abang Johari, will enhance transparency and the accuracy of the state's financial reporting.
Police have launched an investigation for suspected negligence following the death of a 2-year-old boy who is believed to have fallen into an uncovered manhole along Jalan Wong Sun Kai, Cebu on Monday. Cebu Police Chief ACP Zulkifli Suhaili said the case is being investigated under Section 3(1)(a) of the Child Act 2001 for neglect or exposing a child in a manner likely to cause physical or emotional injury. A second investigation was also launched and is classified as a sudden death report, or SDR. Doctors at the emergency unit found the victim soaking wet, pale and unresponsive. A little while later, he was pronounced dead. Further investigations are ongoing to identify any individual or party who may be responsible. Now, Malaysia is considering nuclear energy as part of its long-term energy mix. However, the final decision on whether to proceed with nuclear power generation will only be made after 2030. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadillah Yusof said this follows the potential use of nuclear energy still at the research and evaluation stage, involving aspects of safety, public acceptance and environmental impact.
Sekarang ni sistem kita di bawah NEM, maknanya orang yang dah ada solar, dia boleh jual balik ke grid. Tapi end of the day, orang tak ada solar, dia kena bayar tarif apa. So maknanya ada subsidi kepada pihak tertentu, ada yang tak dapat subsidi. So sebab itu kita kena revisit sistem ini, bagaimana kita nak dekati supaya ianya lebih equitable, lebih fair kepada gender.
Fadila also emphasized that safety and security would be the top priorities if Malaysia decides to adopt nuclear energy as one of its future electricity supply sources. Commenting further, the government has not committed to building a nuclear power plant yet, but it has established a dedicated nuclear power organization, or NPO, to study all necessary frameworks, including international treaties, domestic regulations, and human capital requirements. At the same time, he also touched on the potential of bringing back Malaysian nuclear experts currently serving abroad, should the government decide to build a nuclear power plant in the future.
Now, all affordable housing projects must be developed in line with the Madani concept framework, which emphasizes the need to provide residents with access to education and healthcare facilities. In this regard, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasized that large-scale affordable housing projects involving 3,500 units or more must incorporate these facilities within the project site itself.
Mesti ada sekolah. Kalau tidak ada sekolah berdekatan, mesti ambil beberapa blok di situ dengan dedicated lift, vertical school, mesti ada. Jadi saya harap satu blok boleh diteruskan, satu blok lagi mesti ditangguh sehingga semua syarat-syarat ini dipenuhi. Kalau dipenuhi, boleh jalan. Okey, sekolah satu lagi. Ada tak satu tempat untuk tadika? Kan kita kata di ibu bandar. Ibu bapa pendapatannya 2,000, 3,000. Tadika ni 2 batu jauhnya. Saya dah arahkan supaya tadika tu di dalam bangunan. Kalau ada, alhamdulillah. Kalau tidak ada, dibetulkan. Satu bandar dan...
He said this during the launch and groundbreaking ceremony of the Residency Madani development in Kuala Lumpur on Wednesday. Citing the project as an example, Anwar noted that several government-mandated elements, including the provision of health and education facilities and affordable housing developments, were not met by the developer. Therefore, Anwar, who is also the finance minister, has requested that the developer and relevant parties rectify these shortcomings with a deadline set for next Monday. Anwar added that the developer and the mayor of Kuala Lumpur, Datuk Seri Dr. Maimunah Muhammad Sharif, have been asked to present a solution to him at his office next Monday.
The federal government has enacted a mandatory policy that requires all clinics and pharmacies to display the prices of drugs. This also includes consultancy charges that was billed to the patient. Deputy Minister of Trade and Cost of Living, Dr. Fuzia Saleh said this measure is initiative by the government to empower consumer rights under the health sector. The matter was one of the main issues that was agreed upon during a meeting with the National Action Committee on Cost of Living and its Executive Committee. She also emphasized that it is not obligatory for patients to purchase drugs from the clinic after consulting the doctor.
Yang pertama dalam aspek kesihatan ialah mewajibkan pemberian preskripsi untuk setiap perundingan. Ya, maksudnya apabila seseorang itu pergi jumpa doktor, maka preskripsi itu wajib dan pesakit itu harus faham bahawa dia tidak perlu ataupun tidak wajib untuk membeli ubat di klinik tersebut. Dia boleh membuat pilihan untuk membeli di farmasi contohnya, ya. Jadi preskripsi itu wajib. Kedua, paparan harga ubat juga wajib. Ini keputusan NACOL bermula pada 1 hari bulan Ogos. Paparan harga ubat di di farmasi dan juga di klinik. Kemudian mewajibkan bil terperinci di klinik, berapa konsultasi dia dan sebagainya.
Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.